In this video, we're going to go through entering some CRM transactions. So the first thing that I've done is change my system date back to the 23rd of January 2008, just so we make sure all the transactions we enter will be dated with a January date. So the first thing that we're going to do is go and convert an existing lead to a customer. So if I go into find lead, and we're going to pick up the Toys International lead, which is that one. If I open it up, okay, we've got an option on the toolbar here to convert the lead. So if I click the convert lead icon, it will come up with the convert screen. Now at this point I can convert it to a prospect, or if I know that this person is going to be a customer or they're going to place an order with us, then we can convert it straight to a customer, which is what we're going to do. All these templates here are basically what we covered when we were creating customers previously. By what we put in here depends what template it uses, which will then depend what settings get put onto the account. And then I've got an option down here to view the newly created record. So if I click OK on that, it tells me the lead's now being converted, and it shows my customer here, which was Toys International UK, which is formerly the lead. Okay, so I'm just going to save and close on that, and there's my lead there, which I can just close again. Next thing we're going to do is convert a prospect to a customer. So if we go into find prospect and look for Toy Prospect UK Limited, and that's the one we're going to convert it into a customer. So on here we've got a convert to customer button. If I press that, it asks me am I sure I want to do it. I say yes, and it basically converts it. A prospect and a customer is nearly the same in the system, so it just basically amends a flag in the system to convert it. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is create an activity for a meeting for a meeting with a customer. So if I go into new activity, and in here we'll just put meeting with customer. Okay, change the type to a meeting, and then I select my customer. So we're going to have a meeting with Toy Prospect. So if I key in here Toy Prospect, it should find it and put it in for me. So it's going to be assigned to me because I'm putting this meeting in, which is fine, and the meeting's going to be on the 30th of the 1st. So let's just change the date to be 30th of the 1st, and we'll put a little bit of detail in here to tell us what the meeting is about. Okay, so then I click save and close to save that meeting. Okay, next thing we're going to do is create another activity, which is going to be a to-do. So this is just going to be a pick up laundry activity. So I'm going to leave the type as a to-do, and because it's just a personal errand, as it were, I'm not going to assign this to anyone in particular. It's just going to be unassigned to. It's not going to have a customer or a prospect against it. So if I save and close on that, what I'll then do is go and have a quick look at my calendar now to see what effect that's had on my calendar. So I can see straight away that the meeting is in there, and I'll be able to see from the to-do little window that my to-do is in there as well. And I can pin that window on if I want, so I've always got the to-do showing on there. Okay, what we're now going to do is go and create a different type of activity, which is a callback, and it's going to be query with pricing that we're going to put on here. So we'll have a callback, and we're going to have Toys International as the company to call, and the callback is going to be done on the 25th. Put a little bit of text down here just saying what the callback's regarding. Okay, we'll save and close that. I'll then go back in the calendar and have a look at my callback screen here. If I just refresh my calendar, I'll see that a callback appears in again a separate tab on the right hand side. Callbacks and to-dos show on this on these tabs. All the other things will show within the calendar. Okay, what we're now going to do is, if we wanted to, we can right click on there and it will bring us various options up, and one of the ones is we can change the status, so we can say it's in progress, or maybe it's been completed or cancelled. It's just a quick way to do it. What we can also do is create a new activity by double clicking on a day in the calendar, and it will bring up an activity window, and we can basically key in an activity that way, say going to new activity in the CRM module. Okay, now what we're going to do is go and create a case. So if we go to new case, now a case is usually for fault call login or sort of a support call environment. So we're going to have a case for gun is broken, and the type defaults to case. Case is another type of activity really, but if you do it through the new case option, the type will always default to case. So we're going to have this against a US customer. Just type a bit of that in and it should find it for me like so. And I'm going to leave the date to the 23rd, because normally we log cases on the day that they're actually logged. So down the bottom we can type as much text in as we want with more detail of the problem. I'm going to save my case. Okay, so if I save and close out of that and then go into under tools, we've got a case dashboard. Okay, and I can see my newly created case on there, and we've got SLA here, which is it'll be getting our default SLA because we haven't assigned a particular contract to that customer. But basically this will show us green when they're within the SLA. It will go to amber when it's getting close to the SLA, and when we're obviously over the SLA it will turn red. So this is quite a useful screen for a support manager, for instance, to be in and monitoring the calls to see what we need to try and be fixing. Okay, next thing we're going to do is go and create an opportunity, which is a sales opportunity basically, and we're going to have this opportunity against a French customer. So search for it and then it will bring it up. So this is going to be big toy sales opportunity. Okay, we have to put an estimated close date on this and when we hope to close this deal by, which will be the 31st of the 1st, and we'll put some details in of would like to discuss what is needed to fill their showroom. It's quite a big order. The estimated value on this is going to be £1,000. So I'm just going to save that opportunity. I'm not going to actually close it. And I'm going to create a new quote from this opportunity by clicking the new quote button from the opportunity window. So this will automatically create a quote for a French customer. And in here we're going to put an 80GB hard disk, and we're going to put 2GB of RAM. Save and close the quote, and then I'm going to save and close the opportunity. I can then view the opportunity dashboard similar to the case dashboard, and we can see our opportunity in here with a similar sort of screen to what we had in cases. Next thing I'm going to do is create a new target list. target list is basically a list of people who maybe we want to target with our next promotional campaign. So we're going to create a target list coming from customers and prospects. Sorry, only customers, and we want all contacts, and we're going to call this UK customers. Okay, and then in here we can select some filter criterias. So we want actual country as a filter, so I'll search for country. Okay, so it brings up a couple of different places where it can get the country from. I'm going to get it from the customer view, so basically looking at the country on the customer, and we want United Kingdom in there. Okay, so there's my criteria. I could also add others. If I was to click and, I could then put another line in underneath that with more criteria. On here we can also say whether we want to filter by items that they've purchased or haven't purchased off us, so things that we've invoiced them for, and we could say shows customers who have purchased from a certain category or that have purchased certain items. We can also do the same for things that we've quoted, so you can do a similar thing in there, and then the final screen will show us all the customers that match our criteria. So we won't have our US or our French customers or anything in here because of the criteria that we entered. So we're going to next and finish on that to save our target list. We're not going to do anything at that point with it. The next thing we're going to do is go and create a campaign, and we're going to have this as new toy campaign. Okay, we could put detail in there on what exactly the campaign is going to be doing. We just save and close on that, and then the last thing we're going to do is go and create a campaign wave. And we select the campaign name. There's only one there. So we're going to create a campaign wave from our existing campaign that we just created, and this is going to be a call campaign. So I need to change the type in here to be call, and I need to pick up my target list, which is my UK customers one. It's the only one I've got there at the moment. So because I selected call in the wave type, I've got outbound call details here, which I need to specify who is going to be making the calls. So because there's only me logged in at the moment, I'm just going to select me, but usually you might have maybe 2, 3, 4 users, all that are going to be calling the people on the target list. So you might assign them all, or maybe you've got a team where you can just assign a telesales team to it, and they'll all be able to pick the calls up. So also down here we've got the target list option, and we need to make sure that they're not all excluded like they are. Now the reason that they're all excluded in here is because against each contact record, if I just click into a contact record, we've got these fields, well these icons which are OK to call, OK to fax and OK to email, and there's a little cross through them at the moment, and you can click them to take that off, and that will basically dictate whether it excludes them from the target list or not. So I can manually override that by saying that I want to include all the contacts like so. So now I will actually have people on my list to call, and then back in the detail of this I need to put a bit of script in. So I'll just put this is where you would put a script. Okay, so the next thing that we then do is go into find outbound calls, and we can see our call campaign wave there. If we double click that and click get a call, that will basically pull the first contact through onto the thing. So normally we'd call them, this is actually pulled through the default e-commerce shopper first, so I'll cancel that call and I'll get the next one, which is for boredom free toys. So you can see there the script, so in front of the person who's phoning, they've got the script on what exactly you might want them to say or what exactly you want them to ask about. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to say that we got through for this one, so there's no action on that, we didn't need to do anything. We'll get the next call, and this basically goes down the next one on the list. So if there's multiple people in there getting these calls, then they'll get the next one, the next person will get the next one. It's just a way of rolling through all of them, make sure one person doesn't call the same people. So if for instance we called them and they said, can you call us back, we can create a call back in here. So we'll create a call back after, I don't know, 2 days, and that will just go into our callback into our calendar on the callback screen as usual. If I just go and have a look at one of the customers who have been involved in this wave, so if I go into the play area and go to wave activity, we can also see that this customer and this contact has been involved with this wave, so we can see exactly what we've contacted them about in the past. It's quite useful for looking historically at what exactly we've tried to sell them or what we've called them about. Okay, what I'm now going to do is come out of my call campaign, and I'm going to go and create another campaign wave from the same campaign. So we're still using our new toy campaign, but we can have multiple waves from that, emails and calls, and maybe we're going to fax them something as well. So what I'm now going to do is call this email wave. Okay, and I'm going to leave that type as email. So once again, I'm going to pull in my target list of my UK customers again. So as before, I'm going to go into target list and I'm going to make sure they're all included. Okay, and the other thing that I can then do, because I've got email as the type, I've got a compose email tab in here. So basically I can put a subject in there with whatever I want to put in, new toy promotion. Okay, I could also put attachments, maybe we want to send them a new brochure with our new toys in or something like that. But what we can also do is use templates. I just open this screen up full. We've got templates on the right hand side. If I just pin that on and click the refresh button, we've got a couple of templates in there. I'll just click the acknowledgement of customer praise in there. If I double click that, okay, it then puts a bit of text in from our template. Dear customer, thank you for your letter, etc. So what we can then do is use that template to send our emails. So if we're happy with our template and I click send email, ask me what email account I want to send for. Admin's fine. It'll try and connect to the server. So I'm just going to leave it try to connect. It won't get there because the details I put in weren't correct. My firewall's trying to block it as well. Okay, so then it comes up and says, unable to establish connection to the server. Do you want to continue saving to the outbox? Yes, I do, because I want to have a look at what exactly it's doing so that we can see what will happen. Okay, so that's done that. So if I go back in the target list, you'll notice that it says that it sent the email to them. Now, default e-commerce customer didn't have an email address, so it doesn't flag that. It can only obviously email to ones that have got an email address in there. So if I come out of this screen and then go into my mail client, what I should see in the outbox is all my emails. If I double click one, it's done the merge on the field there, and obviously put the rest of the text in. And if I had a valid email account set up in Enterprise, it would actually send all them out for us. That concludes CRM transactions. Next we'll be doing customer transactions in the next video.